Hi there crafty pals, Louise with you today. Thanks for checking out this video. It is layout share number 8 in the Vicky Booten series. I'm seeing lots of fantastic comments on this YouTube channel, so I thank you so much for visiting and I hope that you enjoy this layout for today. I did really like this circular patterned paper and I had multiple thoughts about it, including a bit of fussy cutting and distressing. I thought about cutting each circle and having some fun, making a bit of a background, but I end up liking the B side of the paper more than I actually like this circular paper. So I'm simply going to cut one circle to use. That makes me feel like I have kind of used this particular patterned paper to its fullest. And I'm going to cut that middle one out and then I'm going to actually use this more sort of lighter patterned paper, which is more in keeping with how I like to create. Now this is a really old photo, so this is my original dog and my cat. Both of these animals have now passed, but this is one of my favorite photos. And I'd printed it ages ago but never actually put it onto a layout. While I was flicking through photos deciding on what I wanted to scrap, this one really jumped out at me and I thought this collection would be perfect. As you can see, pulling little bits from the ephemera, it is really easy to work with and everything just seems to layer up so easily, and I can really concentrate on creating some fun background to put with this particular photo. Now I am going for sort of a central vertical line, so having my cluster in the middle of my page obviously to cover up that hole that I cut in the back there, but I really want to go from the top center to the bottom center and keep everything sort of fresh and clean from beyond that. I didn't actually start with a mixed media option in mind. I didn't really know what I wanted to put behind my cluster, whether it be ink or anything else, but I'm really happy with how these sort of swirly circles and layering of the rub-ons turned out. So not the way I started with this in mind, but certainly turned into something that I think works really well. These little hearts as part of the rub-ons I thought were a great element to have as a bit of a feature, so I'm going to cut those out first, and that's where I had come into thinking about this as a bit of a diamond. So a thin area at the top, a thin area at that bottom central, and then having that sort of thicker cluster in the middle. It sort of spirals a little bit as I'm creating, but that's a fun way to really challenge your own creativity, is to start with something in mind and then just let it flow as the elements and the photo and all of the ephemera and bits and pieces and titles and rub-ons, they all sort of speak and tell you where they should be. Now, I like to keep things either in threes or in odd numbers or a little bit different. So the two sort of swirly dark circles just wasn't going to work for me. I needed to have, as you can see, the 5 at the bottom and then the 3 at the top, just to sort of blend the fact that I had doodled some of these with the more textured ones out of the title sheet. I'm going to add just a couple of little black splatters in there. I think that just brings everything together. I like a bit of dimension behind my cluster, so I am just going to use some cardboard and mount this up a fraction higher just to give it that little bit of something in that background. You can easily do this by like inking edges and creating shadow. You could put a little bit of black ink behind things. It is very easy to create shadow without having to add too much depth, but in my case I actually quite like the depth and I don't mind if my layouts have a little bit of extra texture or sort of they're a bit higher in the albums. That doesn't really bother me. Now, these little bows I think are super cute and I wanted to put them into the background. So I'm still not 100% sold on how this background is coming together. So essentially at this point I'm really just adding things until either I am completely satisfied or I really hate what I'm creating and then decide to maybe cover it up with some patterned paper. But this is not one of those layouts. I think it does eventually come together as it works through the creative process and we start to add a few more rub-ons and bits and pieces. The layout turns into something more how I would create under normal circumstances. So the little ribbons, ribbon rub-ons with the combination of the butterflies, I think that's really cute, perfect for this very special memory of my two first ever animals in our home that we owned, and they were the best of friends, as you can see, snuggling out in the yard. And they would, they would chase each other. A lot of people talk about, cats and dogs don't get along, but it's amazing how sometimes they can, and you get these really fun memories. So, all right, working on the finishing touches. Here's where I'm going to start to add a few more of those rub-ons. I think the color is really great. I really like this cluster. I'm just simply going to add a few more bits and pieces, and you'll catch a little glimpse of a snack that one of my children had bought for me, completely unaware that I was filming a video, and tried to put it pretty much in the picture. And yes, I continue on, and then once I press pause on the video, go and enjoy my pre-dinner snack of garlic bread, which was delicious and perfectly cooked by my 12-year-old, might I add. So final stages here, adding these rub-ons. But yeah, I really like the colors. I think this is very different to what I've been creating recently with this collection, and I think the background came together quite nicely. All right, thank you so much for checking out this video. Thank you for everyone who's left comments, and I welcome you if you're a new subby here. I've seen lots of people checking out these videos, so it's great to see the inspiration that it's creating. And as per why I started this, I really wanted to just make sure that the supplies were being used. That was all how this began. Instead of, like, sometimes I just want to sit and look at things, but creating feels much better, and I'm thoroughly enjoying it. So happy scrapping, and thanks so much for visiting.